very much. I'm generally used to this saying, when you're the last speaker, then it's like you doing the vote of thanks rather than making a speech. Because all the speakers already have said whatever you wanted to say. Mr. Chairman, Lords, ladies and lords, Baroness, Father, my distinguished guests from all over the world here, and friends. It's a great honor and a privilege to be here joining GOPIO at this wonderful event. I must say that against my, when you read the program, it says to be confirmed. I must say to Lord Rana, I received the draft program, and there was somebody's name, Virendra Singh, Member of Parliament. So I don't want to assume that I'm only Virendra in the world, there's nobody else. So I thought probably there is a Virendra Singh, Member of Parliament, maybe from somewhere else. So I didn't confirm it until I had I met Lord Rana a few days ago, and he said, "You coming to the conference?" I said, "I didn't have any invite." He said, "No." Then I think he came and changed the program. So my apology is not confirming it. But it does not mean that I don't want to come. I would have come in the audience. But it's very kind of you, Lord Rana, to ask me to say a few words. As I said earlier on that I had my speech written, made my notes, but I had to change quite a lot because I don't want to repeat what Dr. Preetham Singh has said, what Rami Ranger said. I know I was late coming here earlier on, but I know what Lord Bhikkhu Park could have said on his title. Ravi Girdhar has already mentioned areas we discussed many times. So I'm now a bit puzzled that some might say that I'm repeating what already said. But I have no choice, so I hope that you bear with me if it is a repetition in any shape and form. Indian diaspora role in the new economic world. If you look around, not only in Britain, you go to USA, you go to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, now recently in the last 10 to 15 years in Europe as well. As the speaker said, that we can say that there are about 22 million to 25 million Indian people of the Indian origin living in the world. They are professionals, they are economic migrants, they are professional doctors, lawyers, accountants. I met somebody, the dentist, earlier on. So people from the different professions, but there were the people like me who came with the 3 pounds in the pocket and started working as a bus conductor. So it means that there's different now. But where they have gone back, sent the money back to their loved ones, built big houses, got the cars, bought the land for them. They also got, invested in maybe 1 or 2 care homes, but in education, social fabric in the society in India, they have really returned it. But they also brought the skills, the knowledge, know-how to the countries where they moved. So they have invested huge talent in the world. The Indians have helped the countries like Britain to come on their feet. If the people who came here in the late 40s, early 50s, Mr. Lumba, many other people, Lord Rana, they know it, what was the conditions in this country. Once Prince Charles said that we should be thankful to the Indian people, or people from Southeast Asia, those who helped to keep the old buildings for us. You remember whenever the first immigrants moved in, whether they gone to Ireland or Scotland or anywhere else, first investment in the house use a simple language, the white people were not willing to live. They keep it, they bought cheap houses, then invest in those cheap houses to keep them. That's why we still have those old buildings. Otherwise, what would have happened? You demolish it because you have the money. The migrants did not have the money. So that's the contribution that immigrants have made. Then, again, in the hospitals, in transport, political fields as well. I can see my very old friend, Virendra Sharma, sitting here, that when we campaigned for the rights of people, that's a contribution. Bringing this country into the 21st century was the contribution given by us in this country. Let the local people understand there are other people living in the world as well. Whether they're poor, they're black, they're of other skin, of color. So that's where the contributions we have made in the world. And we still have a role to play in that. I feel that in the last at least 10 years now, once the world realizes it, the Indians are not only contributing here, India is also growing as a major economic power. Have you ever heard 20 years, 30 years ago, the President of America going to India and saying that I wanted to build and strengthen the relationship with India? 15 years ago, have you heard about the British Prime Minister going around and saying that we wanted to strengthen the relationship with India? They always had that here. They wanted to work together with the black and Asian communities living here. But 15, 20 years ago, they never thought that they will turn to India as a country to build those relationships. I must say, a few years ago, Gordon Brown went to India. That's where UKIBC was formed. United Kingdom Indian Business Council was formed. Because Gordon Brown saw India's economic growth, India becoming a major power, economic power in the world, maybe in 10 to 15 years' time, 20 years' time. Now I must say, and I was so pleased as an Indian myself, that when Cameron in the Queen's speech actually mentioned India, no other Prime Minister ever mentioned that they wanted to build and strengthen the relationship. I use the term strengthening the relationship because we always have the relationship. We have millions of people living here as ambassadors of India. So I feel it that is also going in favor of us, that we living here actually invested in this country. Now the whole world is turning to the people, to India, and we feel proud of that. As everybody has said, that Britain, the Europe, the world has benefited culturally, socially, economically, professionally from the Indian people. And I think that though we have some negativity, that whether we were becoming a positive force in India or a negative force in India, as the doctor have said, that sometimes we have created, that's the human nature. When you have made some money, you got it, and some people have this tendency, I take it, that you showing your economic power to others. You're saying it, I'm better off than you. I went away, I earned money, you come back, and then you say that I got more than you. That inequality